Mercy exonerates you from what you deserve. The reason is because you will make a lot of mistakes many times before you get to the top. And many times the mistakes you will make will be enough to disqualify you. Many times men will rise up against you for no reason, and they will be too powerful for you to even imagine you will fight with them. Many times spirits will stand up to make you a victim. The Bible said in Lamentations chapter 3 verse 22, it said to subvert a man in his cause, the Lord approveth not. And the reason is because he said his compassion faileth not. He said it is for the Lord's mercy that we are not consumed. His compassion faileth not. Every man you see who is invincible is enjoying mercy. The day mercy is withdrawn from his life is finished. I'm telling you the truth. Believe this and believe it with the whole of your heart. If mercy is withdrawn from your life, you are finished. I'm mentioning these things so that when I teach about it now, you will deploy yourself to ensure that you have more than enough of these things at work in your life. Because these things will make you invincible. Our world is wicked. Our world is in darkness. The Bible said the habitation of darkness, of cruelty. That's what we are living in. And so for you to succeed, for you to fulfill God's mandate for your life, you must have mercy speaking for you every month. That's why the Bible said in James chapter 2 verse 13, it says mercy prevails over judgment. There are many things concluded to destroy you. There are many things concluded to crush you. You will not even be aware. Mercy will exonerate you, and many times you will not even know. It's when you leave this world, they will show you that you didn't die once. You died 35 times, but 34 occasions mercy exonerated you. You may not know. Some of you sitting here are supposed to be dead a long time ago. What you are spending now is called mercy. Some of you, what came for you in your mother's womb. Some of you, what came for you the day you were born. Some of you, while you are coming for this service this evening, there was a calendar of death that you don't know you were saved from. The reason is because mercy. When you get to heaven, you discover that nobody died once. They say a cat has 9 lives. A believer has more than 1,000 lives. Many times, mercy saves him again and again and again. He's not just aware. This is why you have to constantly deploy mercy in your life. Because most of the things mercy will do for you, you will not be aware. And so in order to live victoriously, unconsciously, you need the equation of mercy to be added into your life. How do you grow in mercy? Number 1, brokenness. Brokenness actually is the disposition of self-denial. It's different from humility. Humility is to place others above you. Submission is to put yourself under authority. Brokenness is self-denial. Brokenness alone is stronger than both humility and meekness put together. The Bible calls it a contrite heart. Any man who is broken is a man that is about to fly like an eagle. Psalm 51 verse 17, when David erred and God rebuked him, David knew how to move the hand of God. Pleaded with God, take not thy spirit from within me. He said, for a contrite heart and a broken spirit, he said, the Lord cannot despise. He didn't say the Lord will not despise. The Lord cannot. When God sees a broken man, he helps him. Even in this wicked world, when a man, you see brokenness in a man, you can't hurt him. Even if you are stone-hearted, somewhere, somehow, you'll be moved to help. Because brokenness is an alarm system in the spirit that activates any iota of divinity that is left in the person looking at you. He cannot but help you. Humility can be seen. Meekness can be seen. Brokenness can be perceived. It is so strong that even without the person speaking, you can perceive it. It's like an energy. The person is so lost in God that he himself is completely finished. That's why we call it self-denial. Psalm 34 verse 18. Isaiah 66 verse 1 and 2. You see how scriptures again and again keeps highlighting that God cannot ignore a broken man. God cannot ignore a broken man. He said the Lord cannot ignore a man who is contrite at heart. He said for a broken man he will save. That's why you see some people, no matter what happens, somewhere, somehow, they receive salvation. Did you read the story of the prodigal son? He took his inheritance, spent it. When you spend your inheritance, you are finished. Because even if you are forgiven, there's nothing for you anymore. When the father saw him coming, what he saw was brokenness. The moment the father saw him, the father gave him what makes him the father. Because this guy no longer has an inheritance. He gave him his sandals, put his own ring on the boy's hand, carried his apron and put upon him. Meanwhile, the one who is under authority at home is not broken. I've been with you here all these years. You didn't give me a lamb with my friends. He said, you didn't ask. You own everything. But I can't see this broken man and ignore him. It's not possible. So many times, it's not the magnitude of offense that provokes forgiveness. It's the magnitude of brokenness that provokes forgiveness. There are some people that did something very little, but you can't find brokenness in them. So even though what they did is so small, their judgment is heavy. Whereas there are other people that did so much that warrants death. But when you look at them, they are too broken for you to hurt them. That's the difference between David and King Saul. David offended God much, much more than Saul. But David was broken. Paul will always rise to his own defense because he can never see anything wrong with himself. But David will always lift up his hand. He will tear his garment, put ashes on his head and say, Lord, have mercy. You want to be invincible in life? One of the keys is brokenness. The reason is because brokenness provokes mercy, and mercy brings pardon and exoneration. There are many things you will need to be pardoned from. Because if you are judged based on what you deserve, you are gone. I know many people talk bogus. If you are judged based on what you deserve. That's why the Bible said if God considers iniquity, no one man will stand. Not one will stand. That means the measure of impact we are all making are the measures of mercy we are accessing. Second way to access mercy is by asking for it. If you don't ask for it, you can't have it. Don't assume that God knows that you need mercy. Ask God deliberately, Lord, show me mercy. Lord, show me mercy. Lord, show me mercy. He said, call upon me in the day of trouble. I will hear you and I will answer. So if you don't call upon him, even though he has functional ears, there may be nothing to draw his attention. That's why the story of Bartimaeus impresses and impacts my heart so much. Son of David, have mercy. God now came and said, what do you want? That means God gave him a blank check. A prayer of faith addresses a particular need, but a prayer of mercy gives you a blank check. When you are praying a prayer of faith, God says, speak to this mountain. But when you are praying the prayer of mercy, anything you want, God will answer. That's why mercy is too important to be ignored. Every day of your life, asking for mercy. I've taught you here many times how men called upon the name of the Lord for mercy, and God always rose up to their defense. How do you access mercy? Number 3, by showing mercy to others. You want mercy, you have to show mercy. In Matthew 5:7, it says, blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. There are many people here today, anything you do to them is karma law, only they know. They must pay you back, and they must pay you back immediately. And if they can't pay you back immediately, even if it's after 5 years, they must pay. I read a story that scared me from scriptures. In Matthew 18, from verse 24 to 28, The Bible said there was a servant that owed his master money. He came to the master. The master said, arrest him, throw him into prison. That is the justice. He said, but he pleaded. And the master forgave him and said, go. And when the servant left, he went to the other person that he is a master to and said, pay me what you owe me. And the guy knelt down and said, please forgive me. I don't have. He said, throw him into prison. The moment the man that forgave him heard that he didn't forgive another person, he said, go and bring that wicked servant here. You know why? If I forgive you, it means I can change my mind. If you are owing a debt and the person says, I forgive you, he didn't sign any document. He just said, I forgive you. That means be careful. All of us seated here, we are forgiven. If I collect your money and you say, okay, don't worry, don't pay again. When I collected the money, we signed agreement. Any day I misbehave, you can go back to court. The court is not moved by what was not signed. It will call you back and say, this is the document, pay. When the man heard that the wicked servant went and threw another person to prison, he said, go and bring him here. And he cast him into prison. If you don't show mercy, you can never obtain mercy. Many people kneel down every day. They are crying to God, have mercy on me, have mercy on me. Meanwhile, everybody that offend them, they must deal with that person. And they don't just want to deal with that person. They want that person to be destroyed so that it will serve as an example to others. That's the world we live in. But there are men that don't even need to ask God for mercy. They are too merciful towards others that anything that concerns them, even if God's attention is not there, angels will remind him and say, you have not spoken about this person's matter. Please do something about this person. Please do something about this person. Because the more God blesses him, the more others will be blessed. Those of you here that never forgive, is a risk. It's not the person you are bearing grudges against that is in trouble. You are the one in trouble. And so if you want God to constantly show you mercy, better begin to train yourself to forgive people, even before they ask. Some people come and say, I would have forgiven him. But the way he apologized, that I don't like that apology. You don't know the forces that manipulate this realm. The person you want to kill today might be your salvation tomorrow. So be careful. The house girl in your house today may be the one to train your children. So be careful. Because you don't know tomorrow. Even the mighty can fall. In Proverbs 21:13, it says, whosoever stoppeth his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself and shall not be heard. And so we need to constantly grow in mercy, because there are too many things demanding our debt. If you know how many people are wishing for you to fail, you will run to the mountain and start praying from this night. If you know how many traps have been set for you now, you will now ask yourself, what am I doing? Is it this mommy? If you know how many demons have been mobilized to kill you, you cannot afford not to be merciful.